Well, hello there, and welcome back to our next installation of you're new to Empyrion. I guess this is part 3. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at how to construct your first hover vessel. So, do you remember last time we were at the Heidelberg? There's the wreckage over there. Well, close to it, usually, is a damaged hover bike. So I've basically set up the scenario. So we've got, all the basic bits of materials that we're going to need, and we're going to do 2 different versions. So with this damaged hover bike over here, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look into the P menu, and we're going to see what we need. So as you can see here, it's got its own cargo box, it's already got an open cockpit, it's got its core, it's got 4 ground repulsor engines, it has, let's have a look here, it's got its O2 tank, and it's got its spotlight. But the yellow bits here, the generator and the fuel tank, are both missing. It tells us right at the top here. So that's what we need to build. So when we're in a survival game, what we do is we go to F3, and we're already on hover vessel because I had to check it, but we've unlocked the generator here, well, the generator, the small one, and the generator here. We've also unlocked these bits and pieces further down. So we've got fuel tank and generator. That's what we need to make this run. So let's just check it again. Generator, fuel tank. So we're going to go over to our constructor. We're going to go over here. And we're going to go click on the hover vessels. So we're going to make what can we make? We want to make a fuel tank, and we want to make a generator. As you can see, I've already got the hover vessel starter here. That's for what we're going to do in a little bit. So we're just going to pop that over there. So let's get these out here. Let's move Mr. Bitey. And let's come over this way. We'll have a look at it and see where it can go. So we can see it just about here. It's got an available space. It's got empty spaces here and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the fuel tank right there. And then I'm going to pop the generator right here. Now it is slightly open, so I think what we can do is if we just go to blocks, and let's make a steel block. Let's just grab that. And we're going to go and have a look. I think what it is a ramp A. So we're going to turn this round like that. And there you go. It's covered. Woohoo! So now, if we just go into the P menu again, press auto group. And what that does is that puts all the machinery and devices into their own categories where they should be. And we'll just open these up again and have a look. It says it's already got the fuel tank right here and the generator. And nothing else has changed. It's all where it should be. So the other thing now is it's got no fuel. It won't work unless it's got fuel. So let's go into our constructor. Let's grab some fuel. Let's press the P menu, go to the main screen, go to manage fuel, and put that fuel in there. So now it's still not turned on because we haven't told it to turn itself on. We're going to put that back there. Let's go and sit on the vessel, because then we can just, instead of looking at the vessel, we can just press P because we're already in the command chair. And we're going to click the power button on. And now we can zoom around on our hover vessel, which means that we can go. We've got more access to storage because it's got a storage container on it, and you can put more storage containers on here. Now the other thing that we can do with these is we can build all sorts of other stuff to go on it. So let's just turn the power off for a second. And let's have a look in the portable constructor. Let's go back to devices. So if we wanted to, we could put a fridge on here. Because it's got no shields, we don't have to worry about turning the shields off. And we could add that to wherever we wanted. So we could put it on top we could put it on top of the cargo box here. If we could turn it round, like this. There we go. I mean, it's not really connected because that's obviously a half block, but it's still effectively connected to the actual machine. We could stick it down here. We could basically put it wherever we wanted. But now it's got a fridge, and now the thing is once you put a fridge on a hover vessel, or indeed any vessel, you want your crops, the food that you've collected, to stay fresh. So it does mean that you're going to have to keep your vessel on for it to work. So what we'll have to do is just pop that on, and otherwise the crops will eventually just expire. That's just the way that it works. So now we've got a fully working vessel, and we can zoom around on the planet, and it's much faster. There you go. There's usually, like I said before, a damaged hoverbike nearby. Just set up a station, and you can just, make the bits and pieces that you need for it, and then use it. It's really easy. The other thing that you could do is you could put an armor locker on there if you need to actually put your armor on straight away. That's something that I try to go for straight away in a survival series. So I'll try and get the armor on straight away as soon as I possibly can. So we've done this one. Now what we need to look at is building our own. So let's have a look at what we need. And I'm just going to have a look at the devices in here. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a hover vessel starter, and what I'll do is I'll get all the bits and pieces that we need, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and you can see that I've got quite a few different things that we don't have on the original vessel that we looked at just before. So we're going to pop all of these bits and pieces into our inventory as much as we can. Oh, we've got 3 there. Let's put this there. Let me just maneuver all these bits and pieces. It's because the reason why is because my weights and volume is on true, so it just makes it more realistic. What we're going to do is we're going to put our hover vessel starter down here, and we're going to pop it this way. So you can see this arrow right here. This is where the ship front is. Why it will always go in this direction. So forward, arrow. Okay, so that's going to set itself down there now. And what I want to do is I want to put a cockpit on. But I'm going to do something a little bit more fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up a little bit. I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to get some more of these blocks. There is a reason why I'm doing this, by the way, which I'll show you in a second. Right, well, if we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that looks fairly sufficient, right? So then bring these out on the sides. We can always just take the blocks as well. Fine. Let's just grab that. Grab the retrieve blocks. There we go. Look at what we've got in here. So I want to put these hover engines somewhere. Let's grab those. Let's just do the 2 first. I want to put them there. And there. Now, what I could have done, actually, is we go to the end menu. And we can click on the symmetry pane. We want to get rid of XZ and XY. We want to go to the YZ to make sure that we've got a symmetry plane that goes right down the middle here. So we're going to come out of there. And what's going to happen is it's going to mirror one side with the bits and pieces that we place. Right, so we're going to go and grab the other 2 hover engines, and we want to place them in the same place down here. So like that. And you can see it's already placed it, which just makes it so much easier. Right, okay, so now we want to place our cockpit. We're not going for anything fancy right here. We're going for functional but fun. So let's go. We want a cockpit. Go with this one. Now, the reason why I prefer cockpits over the open ones is purely because of radiation. Radiation is you're going to get radiation whilst you're on the planet. It's a valid concern, so you kind of want to make sure, or I like to make sure, that I've got at least something that's going to protect me. There we go. So I want to make sure I'm going to build over here. Let's put those there. Let's put the there. Let's put the cockpit in. Like that. Right, we've got a docking pad. We're not going to worry about the docking pad just yet. Let's go back to our doodad here. I don't really need the RCS. Put them there. Grab our detector. What we want to do is we want to put our detector maybe at the top here, because we want to keep this space empty, because we want to put I want to put a core in there. O2 should we need it, although we don't really need this on a breathable planet, so you know it's much of a muchness. And what I want to build as well is I want to build a core and maybe a cargo box. Let's build two. We've got two of those. So we're gonna pop in some thrusters. Now, you don't necessarily need thrusters. I mean, you know, this vessel shows you that you don't need thrusters. So, but I want it for the extra getting out of there, getting out of dodge ability. We're gonna put those there. Gonna grab these here. We're gonna turn those into cargo box 3. Let's move those round to over way. Let's see if we can get up. Grab those there. Yep. Place those. And then now what we're going to do is we're just going to... Actually, what we're going to do now is we're going to make... Look at the devices. We need a spotlight. So let's make that. Turn that round. Go. Effectively, even though it's connected and we can't move it yet, we've got our own. We've built our own hover vessel. So I'm going to pretty this up with some blocks. I'll just put that there. Let's turn this up. There we go. I'll put it there. I think what we're going to do is just going to grab these here. Take those down the side. It's not going to be very pretty, this, by the way. And now we're going to need to actually build some more of these carbon composite. So the reason why I've used carbon composite is instead of steel is because essentially it's fast, that it's light, and it's easy to show you guys. For those of you that were struggling with just, you know, getting a vessel straight away. Right, so we're gonna grab these here. We're gonna retrieve these blocks. We're gonna stick in just some normal blocks. Just there. And what we're gonna do, let's grab these ramp seam mediums. That looks pretty good. Let's move that around. Click it upside down. There we go. Gonna grab some normal cubes, stick those in the back so if we get shot, then, you know, our bits and pieces aren't exposed. Now you don't have to leave it like this, you can make it look very fancy indeed. I'm just showing you just how to actually construct it all together. We'll grab this here. Feed this block. Sometimes it doesn't symmetry on the other side. It's fine. You can just go and repeat what you need to do. There we go. So we've got our vessel here. Now we're a bit empty on the top. But get on that hover vessel. Right, okay. So I want to do pretty much the same thing. I want to grab these cube halves. We're just gonna come to there. See, I think we place a cube here for packing. There we go. And we're gonna need it. We're gonna need some more carbon. Let's just get them in there. We should have enough after this. It looks a lot more streamlined than the other one, but we've not painted it yet. And we're not going to go into massive amounts of detail with it either. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to now place our docking pad underneath here. And we're going to place that right in the middle underneath there. Now the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to take out all of these bits. We're going to take that, these, and we're going to turn off symmetry so we can see properly. We'll take off the core, and you can see that it's turned red. Well, no fear. What I'm going to do is, where did we put our... Oh, we've got our core over here. And eventually it will drop. I'm going to stick this right there. So now when you look at it, you notice it's gone green and we can actually really access it all now. Then what I want to do is I want to grab some more of these blocks. I want to put some ramp seam mediums on it, just there. I want to bring these up. Like this. Like I said, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I don't intend it to be pretty. I intend it to be functional, and just to give you all an idea. Right. So now we're going to get the cube halves, put those in. Do we have any more? I suppose we could utilize these steel blocks since we're here anyway. These were obviously from the starter. There we go. Right, so now we need a paint gun. So we're already getting dark. You know, you don't need a paint gun really. You can just, you know, have it just like this. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever takes your fancy. Right, okay. I'm gonna get a paint gun and I'll be right back. So we're back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna utilize this texture here. And I'm gonna grab this color here, and we're just gonna paint it. Nothing fancy, like I was saying before. You can symmetrize this as well, but it doesn't it will work, but it can be a little bit stuttery. That's just the way it is, or at least in my experience, anyway. Sometimes it doesn't mirror the textures over. It does for the most part, but it may miss a few bits here and there. Right, so there we go. And now it all looks like it's all the same block as well, doesn't it? Right, let's just throw that in there. And you could put a gun on here, a gun turret on here. You can put weapons right at the front there, should you want to. Whatever you've got unlocked in your tech tree, and also whichever constructor you have available. And what we'll do is we'll just have a quick look at that now whilst it's dark. But we've just painted our hover vessel. So let's go back to our portable constructor. If we go to here and to there, we've got no options for weaponry. You know, if we come to the all objects filter, then you notice that we've got all the arms available that it can build in the constructor. For this, you can't. And if we go to F3 and we look at minigun Gatling guns, you'll notice that the portable constructor, the yellow dot isn't, or the yellow square isn't there. So we can only build it on a small constructor, an SV constructor, a large constructor, or an advanced constructor. So, you know, we cannot make, within these parameters that we've got here, early game, we cannot make weaponry to put on our HV. So let's just finish painting underneath there. And, oh, we've missed a bit. There we go. And we're in the cockpit now. So, when we're in the cockpit, we're shielded from radiation, which is pretty funky. But now what we're going to do is, we've built all of this, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, is that if we just press auto group, then it puts it in its proper categories and makes it much easier for you to determine where things are going to go. As you can see, that ours is it's got a lot more stuff to it than the initial ship that we just put the engine and generator in. But you can also see we've got more cargo boxes, thrusters. But now what we need to do is we need to put fuel in it. Let's grab some fuel. Go to the P menu. Let's go to main. Let's go to manage fuel and put it in the fill fuel bit. Now you can see that this takes a lot more fuel. Purely because there's twice the fuel capacity, because we put 2 tanks in there. So let's just grab more, fill her up. There we go. So now she's got lots of fuel. Let's get in the vessel and we can float around. Now the other problem that we've got is because she's got thrusters, she is very quick and eager to go forward. So you have to really hold back your S key to make sure that she doesn't just go. Because she will go. But that little extra thruster boost will get you over big mountains should you need to. It will give you a bit more of oomph to move wherever you want to. But just be prepared, unless you put thrusters on the front and on the sides, you will have a lot less control about where you want to go. So you can see that I'm not pressing any keys. That's as much as she moves from a little press off the W key. She will go. So, but that's what you need to do. You need to balance your thrusters. If you just want it for a little extra oomph, stick a thruster on the back, or stick 2 on the back. But just so you're prepared for that situation, should you put thrusters on your hover vessel, or indeed thrusters on any of your vessels, you've got to make sure that you balance it throughout, you know, top, bottom, sides, front and back. And you can check that. You can look at your statistics here. There you go. Obviously, the more thrusters that you add, to each side, then the greater these numbers are going to be. And you kind of you do what I like to balance them out, but I like to have a bit more roll just for combat purposes. But everyone builds ships differently, so it depends on how you like to have your vessels. There you go. And I think that just about covers our guide on how to build your first HV. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any questions about constructing or building, if you get a little stuck, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.